Climate change is here. Not one of the 7.5 billion people on Earth can escape the impact of climate change.
COP23 is the coming together of world leaders to discuss climate change and its impact to the world.
COP23 is very important as far as the Pacific Island countries are concerned, because we have the Prime Minister of Fiji as the president of the COP.
To have our Prime Minister lead COP23 is an honor. I feel that he is not only representing Fiji, but he's there to represent the rest of our Pacific Island brothers and sisters, and to be, so to speak, the voice of the Pacific.
There is a sense of urgency in the Pacific because every day the people of the Pacific suffer the impacts of climate change. We know what it's like to have eroding coastlines and people who are forced to move to higher ground because of the impact of climate change on the coastlines.
We had to move people away from their home turf, so to speak, places where they've been for hundreds of years.
Climate refugees can in fact be very much a reality. Climate refugees from countries like Tuvalu and Kiribati that are very low-lying areas in the Pacific, and the way that the sea levels are rising, it could actually mean that parts of these islands could actually be submerged. And people will no longer actually have a dry place to live on.
This house all new from the government. So within 1 year we repaired our house, the lodge, the church, the school. That's within 1 year.
Not only just small islands, but all the affected, the most vulnerable states, be it coastal zones, low-lying coastal zones, be it inland, landlocked countries. We need to act now. It's about the urgency of the situation. Small countries are the lowest emitters, but the ones who are suffering the most.
That we need to stop this suffering. We needed to reduce carbon emission to below the 2 degrees that was agreed to in Paris.
We don't need people to feel sorry for us. We really need action.
What came out of Paris is some good building blocks, a good foundation for action.
Le message, c'est celui de l'action et de la solidarité, de l'engagement. Je pense que nous avons fait des avancées importantes. La COP21 a été l'occasion pour la communauté internationale de sceller un grand accord qui est fort, qui est engageant. La COP22 a été une COP qui a initié la dynamique. C'est une nouvelle génération de COP orientée vers l'action, qui s'est ouverte sur les acteurs non étatiques et qui a montré beaucoup de volontarisme et qui a appelé aussi à plus de solidarité.
We are all bound by a common interest in reducing concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. This is humanity's mission.
We're convinced it's the best opportunity we have to step up our game and accelerate action on many fronts.
Le temps est à l'action. Il faut passer à l'action. Action, action, action.
Well, we need to realize that whatever we do in terms of government, civil society, businesses, from now into the future has to be taking into account the effects of climate change.
What
What I want to tell the leaders of the world, especially the developed countries, is that the science is very clear. The science is very clear. We need to take urgent action to address climate change. For us in the region, the impacts are very clear. Our local communities are suffering from climate change. I want to see more action taken by our leaders, and I want to see the Pacific Island countries taking on the leadership role just like any other COPs.
Because only by coming together as one world, one united global community, can mankind overcome the greatest challenge we have ever faced in the broad sweep of human history.